Ed, I can't tell you, I can't tell you the sincerity with which um, I'm making this video from such deep truth within me and in the presence of God. So yesterday, for the first time in my life, I came across a blog that I could read every post of, and it was very overwhelming energetically for me, and it was also very scary for me because um, it was very scary. Okay, so I was reading Ed, and the topics are pretty much the topics that I speak of, and I never expected that I would have the kind of energetic and emotional response that I was having, and I've been processing that through the day. So I want to share three things with all human beings about our twin flame, um, that 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 perhaps I'm one of the rare people who can actually say these things. The first one, Ed, um, the first one is that we must we must always know that our beloved is with us, and they are emotionally feeling how we are treating ourselves. I had a really crazy moment when I was reading, and I can't tell you the words or whatever, but men have this bravado about them where, and maybe even women do, where when you have not been with somebody who loves you for a very long time, you get trained to be harsh with yourself. You don't treat yourself gently. You get trained to treat yourself harshly. And for men, this kind of shows sometimes in the way men will go out and lie down in the snow, you know. See, I'm all for building your immune system by going and lying down in the snow, but that is a different attitude, and I think that every person can understand what I'm saying. Like, if you're not used to treating yourself gently, you kind of submit yourself to harshness. And because I've grown up in a Catholic background, I understand this shit, because even I was like that. Now sometimes you want to go and push your body. um you want to do this rigorous fasting, and you want to push your body, and you feel like, emotional release when you go out and like fry in the sun, or like just fall in the snow, and you know what I mean. And the more passionate a person is, and obviously you can recognize Catholic background anywhere, but let me tell you, and I I also didn't expect, but I start crying, reading that. And it took me fucking hours to recover. Because, Ed, I felt like I'm being treated harshly. And I just, like, my heart broke. Now, how can I explain that to you in words? I don't know. But if you treat yourself harshly, it hurts me. That's all. It hurts me. Like, it's your attitude. It's like, I don't mind you jumping into the, I have also jumped into a river with us. I don't, it's not, that is not the thing. It's not that. It's that attitude of, like, as if it's all right, as if you get hurt, that's all right. It's not all right by me. I can't i can't take one cell of your skin being hurt. That's simple. I don't know what your philosophical idea is behind all of that. And I even get it that, I get all that, but I can't take that you hurt yourself. I want you to be comfortable. I don't want you to be burnt. I don't want you to be in the cold. I want you to be warm. I want you to eat hot food. I want you. This is what I want, okay? And I was crying and took me a very long time to recover. And I was like, what the hell? but, but what I'm saying is this, okay? You have been with people who didn't love you. They didn't hurt when you hurted. They didn't feel cold when you felt cold. They didn't feel hungry when you felt hungry. They were not moved for you. And you're used to that. And you're treating yourself like how they treated you. You should remember that the one for you loves you. And if I were with you, you would think a million times before letting yourself be in any kind of situation where you could have the slightest pinprick, because you would feel me starting. If when something physically comes near you, you would feel it. If somebody were rude to you, you would not sit at that table 1 second more. You would not email back somebody who emailed you, treating you like you're there, you're disposable. You would not speak to people that do not 100%, 100%, 100% respect you for real if I was sitting beside you. Because you would feel me getting hurt, because you would feel me getting upset and angry, and not in an egoistic way. And only a person that loves can understand what I'm saying. Is you think if I was being even like covertly insulted, you would stiffen up, you would go purple and red. You'd be like, why is he treating her like that? It would be big for you. It would not be small for you. It would be big for you. And you would say, we are not doing this. We are not going to meet these people. We are not going to do this project. We are not going to tolerate this again. And if you saw me going and doing something recklessly, dangerously outside, and yeah, immunity and all of that, but you would be like, no, 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 no. You're not gonna let yourself get burnt. You're not gonna let yourself, none of that. None of that. And especially when you are not physically near me. Because you have to be well till we meet physically. You want to do reckless stuff? Do it like much later in life, when maybe I'll be fed up of you or something. Maybe, which will never happen. But I'm saying, you just don't, you wouldn't tolerate me endangering myself in any way. You'd be like, don't do that, don't do it, because you would feel it. And only somebody that loves can understand what I'm saying. So I just want to say to the humans and to you, because I have no other way, I have no way to directly tell you what I'm saying now. I'm just hoping that you're going to hear this. That you can't ever forget that I am hurt when you're hurt. You can't ever forget that how you speak to yourself is how you speak to me. You can't ever forget that I'm getting affected by the way you treat yourself, and that I can't take any hurt caused to you. I want you to be as gentle with yourself as you would be with me. And I want you to behave like I'm with you when I'm not with you. Because I'm feeling it. It's like I'm sleeping there. I can feel everything, but I can't open my eyes and tell you, you know what I mean? I can't tell you, don't do this, don't. I can't. And it's possibly for the best that I can't at this point. But but that's what I want to say. And every person, every human loves, and they all will have the same thing to say to you. People think that, real mothers, real fathers, they think that they're nags. They're like, it's cold outside today, have something warm to drink, or it's not about what they're saying. It's their love. It's their love. They don't want you to get unwell. They don't want you to go through pain. If it's raining, they say take an umbrella with you. They care about these small things. It's not nagging. It's not nagging. It's because they feel it. When you get hurt, and especially men don't get it. They'll be like, they'll get cut or whatever. They'll be like, whatever it happened, or they get some sprain, or all these things happen. And men don't realize that the woman who loves him is feeling it a million times more than him. Because the body, like the human body, our real body, is not just flesh. That is energy field. When you get cut, when you get cold, when you get sad, when you get lonely, this stuff is like volcanoes inside the woman. This is big for her. And in fact, if she were lonely, if she was scared, you would feel like, oh my God, it would be big for you. You would put aside everything you're doing and try and just do what you have to do to make everything all right. And imagine how frustrating it is when you can't. Like for me, like I can't point at stuff and say, not this. I can't communicate like that. So what I'm saying is to all humans, like, have mercy. Have mercy on the one who loves you. Most of you have grown up with those who did not love you, and you don't know to be gentle with yourself. You don't know. So just try and imagine that if you were with the person you love, how would you behave? How careful would you be with your stuff, for example, with your clothes, with your phone, with your things? How your walking would change. You would just stop being so reckless and just, throwing yourself about the place. It's not about the thing itself, it's about that attitude. You have to value and take care of yourself. This is serious shit. I was crying, like, I didn't even expect it, and I was pissed off. Like, what the hell? I can't even comment. I can't even comment anywhere. I can't even do that. So yeah, that's one thing. That was point one. Point two is that I was pleasantly surprised to find that this is not just me discovering this, but this is a serious thing, that the highest level of awareness and the highest value of the spoken word is when we are speaking to our beloved. It is a true thing that when we are speaking to our beloved, there is in the moment a resonance. It's like sonar. When dolphins are underwater, how do they place an object that this object is uh, 100 meters from me or 50 or 20 meters from me, how do they know that underwater? They release an ultrasound wave that goes through the water, and it hits that object, and that wave comes back. And from that returning wave, the dolphin knows this being is so big or so small and is at this distance, coming at this speed towards me. The dolphin knows this from the returning wave. Now, when we speak to anybody, we are getting that resonance back. And that tells us about our audience. It gives us the frequency of our audience. And if we continue speaking, then we are actually interacting with that audience's frequency. And this is why public speaking is not that simple, not that easy. Because to be a really good public speaker at this time, with the population full of zombies, you have to actually go numb, and you actually have to put up resistance to their frequency of deadness. You have to resist it and uphold your frequency. This is like, it's very difficult, it's very draining. It's not easy. It's not easy. But when you're speaking with somebody who's a frequency that is harmonious with you, then what happens is their frequency stimulates your frequency into becoming more and more pronounced, more and more clear, more and more defined. You know what I mean? And then what happens is your awareness and your consciousness flowers with what you're saying. And you know, the highest flowering of consciousness and the definition of purity of frequency is when you're speaking to your beloved, because you are speaking from your place of love. You are getting the response back in real time from the exact opposite of that, your exact complement. This is the highest possible resonance in the universe. I can tell you that everything, I'm alive today because of this resonance, because of what I'm telling you. Because back in 2019, I reached a point of such trauma that I could no longer write, and I had to send a newsletter. And that was the way I was earning at the time, my herbal newsletter. And if I couldn't write, then I would not be able to earn. And if I couldn't earn, then Gabriel and we would die. I had to, because if I don't earn, then we fall into the hands of rapists, and I can't allow that. So I have to earn. And I didn't know what to do then. I just didn't know because I had to write. And I finally decided that because the only person I can speak to is you, I'm just going to write to you. And if that works, great. And if it doesn't work, what can I do? I was so traumatized, and I still can't write or speak to anyone but you, really. It's not possible for me, because my trust has been broken like that. But I took that risk. And you know what happened? The greatest thing happened. I began to speak from a part of me that was suppressed, and even I hadn't heard from my own self. And I have now written books, and I had like Instagram posts, and nobody would look at my writings and know what sort of introvert I am. Nobody would know that you're the only person I ever speak to. Nobody would know. Nobody would know the level of introvert that I am. I am I just, what do you what do you say? I don't mean to be rude, but I only want you. I only need you. How do you say it? I'm not antisocial. I'm just satisfied in my. I'm satisfied with you. That's all I have to say. But what I'm saying is that a human should spend time speaking to their twin flame, because this is the most revolutionary weapon, spiritual exercise that can drastically change your life and release energy and just lift you up, because every person, a human these days, is surrounded by, the majority are those who pull your frequency down, are those who are looking at what's wrong with you and telecasting, reflecting back to you that you're fat, you're short, you're tall, you're this, you're that. But it's your twin flame who has nothing but adoration and love for you. And why don't you want to be in that atmosphere? Why don't you want to live like that? I'm just saying, in your life, fill it with that kind of happiness. Feed your soul with that return response of love. Feed your soul with that. And really, 100 mantras can't come near the sound vibration of you when you speak with love to your beloved. Because you will get that response and you will feel it. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. I'm not saying you got to go public with it, because I know a few people who tried it, okay? Like, they're like, oh, my beloved, this and that. And let me tell you, you got to be desperate to get that right. And I've not come across anyone as desperate as me. I'm desperate, shameless, horny, all of this stuff. You have to be at an extreme point of desperation to be able to speak to your beloved, knowing that it's going to go on the internet. And one of the reasons that I can be so desperate is because my brain is blown from like not sleeping, and my situation. Most people who are going to hear this know my situation as a subject of ritual torture. So I'm like, I don't even know that others exist in this world, and so why I'm saying this is, I don't recommend that you just start publicly posting to your beloved. You need to have the ability to deal with motherfuckers who are going to read that sacred stuff. And they are. And they are. Now, let me tell you that I can handle this because I am watched by motherfuckers 24/7. I am actually genuinely, I just really don't give a fuck. And it took me decades to reach this point. So if you really genuinely don't give a crap, then go for it. But if you're just starting out, I recommend that you do it in private, because you don't want to lose the sacredness because you're conscious that other people are listening. You know what I mean? You want the sacredness, and it takes you some time to how to do that thing. So what I'm saying is, keep it private, like initially, and unless you really have a reason to publish it, you should actually always keep it secret. When I reach you, I don't think that I would, unless I had something very special to share with humans. I wouldn't share our private stuff online or whatever. I wouldn't. I think, I can't say, but anyhow, you got what I meant, right? Oh my god, I think this has taken a long time. I'm just gonna tell you the third thing, and if somebody needs to hear it, they'll come with me all the way to the end if they need to hear this. And this also I read in the blog that the one thing that I disagreed with is that this thing that we are not God, and the God is the infinite and the first and the last, or something like that. And that made me cry too. I'll tell you why. I don't, I don't like, I don't mind what anyone, defines God as. I don't, that is not something I'm bothered about. The thing that made me cry is when I realized that somebody so adorable, worshipable, worshipped, adored, doesn't know that they themselves are God, you know? And that just really broke me. And I was like, how much you must not know how beautiful you are. How you must not know how somebody longs for you. How precious the sight of you. How precious your photo. How precious the sight of you is. How precious everything you put online even is to somebody, that you don't know that you're God. And you know, the majority of humans are very happy to acknowledge that there is God uh, in us. We know this to be a universal truth as human beings. We know it is true. We have seen very beautiful nature, and we've seen God in people. We've seen God in a tree. But there is a difference between seeing God in things and experiencing that you are God. Experiencing that the person in front of you is God. And that difference is from making love. That difference is from giving birth and holding the baby that came from that love that you made. And I must be, I must be just one of the most blessed people who have ever existed, because lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, I have loved and been loved like that I didn't need no other definition of God but you. Genuinely, I worship you. And I want to tell all humans that because we are in Thug world and we are in this atmosphere, it's very difficult for us to actually understand that we are actually God. The reason that I could is because as a child and as a teenager, I spent time with God. I fasted and prayed 4 out of 7 days, my entire teenage. I read the Bible from one side to another side. I experienced the presence of God, and I sought it because I had nobody else to love me. I was in an island. No, I had no love. God was my only love, and I just turned fully and I experienced the presence of God. And when in 2004, in my meditation, when I saw you, when I saw a man in front of me, I was able to know that this is God because I knew the presence of God from all of my life. And I knew that presence so well that when it took on the body and the face of a man, I knew that seamlessly, this is my God. Seamlessly, I knew this is my God. I recognized because I've experienced the presence of God. So I want to tell you, you want to recognize your twin flame. They can be right under your nose. It's happened to me. Right under your nose and right in front of you. Their photograph will be close by. You'll probably be scrolling by it. You'll probably they'll be right there, but it just won't dawn on you because you are not experiencing the presence of God to see when someone carrying that presence, when someone who is that presence is there. Because what you the frequency you are in is one in which you are splintered, and your attention is with all these friends, and you know what I mean. You're looking at these friends of yours. You're looking at these entities who are not God. How else can I put it? You're looking at these, your energy is focused on these things that are not God. But if you are at least for some hours a day, if nothing else, if you're experiencing the presence of God, then what happens is you're experiencing your own. When you're experiencing the presence of God, which God is this you're experiencing? You're experiencing your own self, the God you. That's who you're experiencing. That's your presence of God. Then when your beloved comes in front of you, you're yeah, that's me. That's my soul. That's my twin soul. Same presence as me. Same God. That's my God. We are the same God together. Now that's how you recognize. So you'll be happy if you be in your own God presence. In general, the quality of your life is going to go up, and then you recognize them, and it's not easy. I agree, but I'm telling you this is actually the only way you can actually recognize them, because on the internet people will say they'll be like this, they'll be like this, all this stuff, this love on the internet, right? It's actually all arranged marriage. Really, it's people arranging their own pimping their own self out. It's people arranging their own hookups and breakups, and it's all arranged, because with your mind you're looking at a guy, you're like, okay, so he's got a job, he's got a car, he's so and so tall, and he's from this race, this community, this company, maybe, if you're in the corporate whatever, and you're looking at all these things, you're arranging it. That's not love. Then going and hitting on someone because they look nice to you, fine, I'm really happy, that's fine, but it's not attraction, and somebody looking good to your mind is not at all the same thing. Real attraction is when your heart feels like you see that person there, you see that man there, that is the home of my heart. I want to go up to him, and put my heart inside his chest. I want to give myself to him. That is attraction that you feel from across the room or from across the internet or whatever. You feel that's my home there. You feel that when he opens his mouth and he's going to speak, when you hear his voice, when you hear his voice, you want to close your eyes and you want to lie down and you want to rest because you're home where his voice is heard. That's your home. You can rest. Now that is attraction. What people do otherwise, they're like, you're mentally, you've got an idea in your mind of what's good looking in a man, what's good looking in a woman, and then you're mentally comparing this person that you're seeing, like, okay, tick tick tick, uh, uh, good breasts, good bum or whatever. You're like, okay, tick tick tick, okay, let's go talk. That's not love, that's arranged stuff. You're arranging a hookup. It's prostitution. It's prostitution. So the thing is that is what Thug World is teaching us. Whereas the only way you can actually recognize your beloved is if you are so in tune, sensing your own God presence, your own presence, sensing your own presence of God. Then you can recognize the exact same configuration when it comes. Yeah, you can get fooled a little bit by those carrying the hormones and DNA of your beloved. It can happen. You can come across people that are very close to your configuration. That can happen too, but you'll always find out sooner or later. Nothing will hold you. Nothing will hold you. Anyhow, so I've taken a really long time to get through this, but I think this is one of the best things that I've said. Everything I say is valuable, of course, but yeah.